Hi, I'm Moses. When I was a little boy, rather more when I was a baby, my parents couldn't keep me. They kept me for 3 months, but King Pharaoh, he was going to kill the Hebrew children. And if he would have found me, he would have killed me. So my mother, the only option she had was to put me in a basket and send me down the Nile River. When I went down the Nile River, I was in this basket, and King Pharaoh's daughter seen the basket and sent one of her maids to go fetch it. When she brought it to King Pharaoh's daughter, she opened it and she seen a babe weeping, which was me, Moses. Yes, I was crying. At that time, I had all the luxury of the Egyptian court and everything, but I never forgot my Hebrew heritage. As I grew older, I seen a confrontation. One of the Egyptians was beating one of the Hebrew children. It hurt my heart. I went to help. I ended up killing the Egyptian, so I had to flee from Egypt. I knew Pharaoh and his army was going to be coming after me. And they was coming, and I ran out in the wilderness, and I was hiding. And then, there in the wilderness, God spoke to me. In a burning bush, God spoke to me. He said, Moses, God. I was amazed. God said, Moses. You know what he said to me? He said, Moses, go back to Egypt. Get my children. I will be with you. When I went back to Egypt, I told King Pharaoh what God said. God said that he would send plagues if King Pharaoh did not release his children. So God sent his plagues because Pharaoh's heart was hardened. God had hardened his heart. God knew he wasn't going to release them. Not right away. So the plagues was on the Egyptians. He was finding it hard to live. And King Pharaoh still wouldn't release God's children. Then God sent more plagues. It got harder and harder. Finally, King Pharaoh said, take them. He gave God's children to me, Moses. And I went back out in the wilderness with him. And we was traveling for a few days, it seemed like. I turned around, and there it was. King Pharaoh's army. Chariots, horses, running after us over the hills. We could see them coming. We was getting a little nervous. The people that was following me, God's people, was getting scared. We traveled. I went right to where God told me to go. Towards the Red Sea. I was traveling there, and all of a sudden, we got to the Red Sea. We turned around and seen the Egyptians coming. They was upset. God's children was upset at me, Moses. I was waiting for God to give me instruction. I didn't know what to do. But wait on the Lord. Then, as I faced the Red Sea, God said, Moses, raise your staff. I raised my staff. He said, I will part the Red Sea. And he parted the Red Sea. Walls of water, as high as you could see it seemed to be. On both sides, dry land. God had prepared, he had prepared a walkway for his children to go across. God, once again, just performed a miracle right in front of my eyes. We get across the Red Sea. Then, here comes the Egyptians. King Pharaoh sent his army down in between the Red Sea, in between those walls of water God had parted to chase after us. Once we got across the water, God allowed the water to go right over top of the army, Pharaoh's army. Killed all the horses, killed all his men of armor, killed his whole army. God performed a miracle, my friend. God kept his promise, and God will keep his promise with you. Moses trusted God. That was me. I still trust God. Moses loves God, and God loves Moses, and God, my friend, loves you.